Good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Matthew Reagan.
And I'm student meteorologist Paxton Fell. Well, we actually have a little less than a week till Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Thanksgiving, just to get home and to see my family again.
I am too, and I'm also excited for the food. I am starving. I haven't had a home-cooked meal that's up to my mom's caliber in quite some time either, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, one of the big things, I love the food. I love stuffing. Stuffing's my favorite.
That's mine too. And pie. Can't forget the pie.
Hot, warm pies, those are the best. But Thanksgiving is coming up just around the corner. Looks like the weather is going to be changing around our parks here over the next couple days.
But the good news is it is looking to be sunny for Thanksgiving as well. And those clouds and that rain is not going to be present on this Turkey Day for us in Tallahassee.
Yeah, Turkey Day in Tallahassee. Try saying that one 10 times fast. So the weather's going to be nice. The weather today was really nice as well, but that'll start to go downhill a little bit over the next few days, and we'll be talking about that quite a bit.
Yeah, but the good news also is that the good weather should be lasting for the most part tomorrow, up until tomorrow night. So if you have game day plans, it should be pretty okay outside, which is great. But we're going to just hand this on over to Shane for more about today's show.
Thanks, guys. Well, the look around the southeast right now, we've got clear skies. It was beautiful and sunny today because high pressure is dominating South Georgia and Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. What we want to keep our eye on throughout the show, though, is out here to our west. We've got a rainmaker that's going to be coming our way, and whether or not it's going to drench our game against the Boston College Eagles, you'll have to stay tuned to find out. Currently in Tallahassee, it's 70 degrees, and that's pretty much the case across the whole Big Bend. We've got a few into the 70s here in Wilma, and we've already dropped down into the 60s in Bainbridge and Quincy. So as temperatures are going to be cooling off rapidly to low in the 40s, we'll get to that in just a minute. But the talking points for tonight. Game day is going to be pretty cloudy for the most part. We're going to have rain all day throughout Sunday, and the temperatures are going to continue to warm up from those very frigid ones we saw earlier this week through Monday, after which they will cool off again to be pretty seasonable. But tonight here in Tallahassee, in the 40s indeed, we're going to get down to 46 degrees under clear skies and nearly calm winds. That formula allows for some pretty cool temperatures overall, so if you're heading out and about tonight, be sure to take your jacket. Guys?
We definitely will take our jackets out tonight. But just last night was the shooting at Strozier, and we're just happy that you're back here with us today, Matt.
Yeah, I was in the library at the time. All the situation unfolded. It was a really scary experience for me, and I'm glad to be back on the show today. It's my first time back this week, so thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected.
Yeah.
It was certainly a scary event over there to be a part of. I'm glad we're safe here in our studio today.
I am glad we're all safe as well. And this is the vigil service that was held here, or in not Westcott, but the immigration statue yesterday. And it was nice, it was candlelight and everything like that. So it was very thoughtful. We had some great school spirit out there as well. And
That's
you
right.
were there as well, weren't you, Matt?
Yeah, I was out there at the vigil service last night, and it was really a powerful experience. And we also have another image here from the vigil as well. And then this is the one that I actually got myself. A little bit rotated there, but it was a very powerful experience nonetheless to see the unity that we had coming out and the support that we had after this tragic event. But on a different note, we're going to go ahead and bring it back to our local satellite and radar here around the Tallahassee area. Everything is looking rather clear right now. Nothing to speak of on the radar, but those conditions will be changing as the next couple of days go on. So we're going to be watching that here, and we'll be talking quite a bit about that later on in the show as well. But moving on to if you're currently walking outside to enjoy the Friday night festivities, currently 65 out there, a little bit of clouds, not too much, very comfortable conditions right now. We're finally thawing out after we saw those deep freezes earlier on in the week. So I'm certainly quite happy to be putting away all the winter gear. I got to start doing laundry again to get back some summer-like gear, or in this case fall-like gear, rather comfortable. Humidity is feeling great out there at 36% and dew points down at 37 degrees, and the winds are rather calm. If you're heading on out to the beach over the weekend, here's the latest forecast for you. The winds are going to be 15 knots. Surf's not going to be too bad, so going to be calm waters out there, nothing to speak of as well. UV index, once again, is going to be a little bit high, so bring your sunscreen if you do head on out to the beach. Early tomorrow morning and into tomorrow, but those weather conditions will start to go downhill. If you are heading out on the boat, if you're going fishing or just having a leisure day out on the boat, please use caution. There is a small craft advisory in effect, so those small vessels will be getting rocked around quite a bit. But here's where things start to get rather interesting, because we're sitting pretty right now with no clouds. But you see this guy over here, this low pressure system, it's going to be causing us a bit of a headache coming up on Sunday morning and pushing into Sunday as well. And that rain chances will increase starting tomorrow. But cloud cover is going to be pushing into our area tomorrow just after the game. We may see a couple sprinkles or two. And then as we move on into Saturday evening, we start to see, we haven't seen this in a while in our graphics, and that's a warm front starting to push on into our area. And then as the front starts to push through, this warm front, stormy conditions start to pile in over Tallahassee with a cold front attached to it here and a low pressure system. So this just all spells a mess of weather here moving into the weekend and into the later part of the weekend as well, as this warm front pushes through our area, and then with the approach of the cold front as well. But tonight in Tallahassee, we're looking comfortable, seasonable for this time of year. 46 degrees, bring out the jackets once again. We're not going to be needing to layer up too much tonight because it's going to be somewhat comfortable out there. Moving on into tomorrow, it is Saturday, it is game day. 70 degrees. Only a slight 20% chance of rain. Those clouds will be building later on in the afternoon, and the winds will also be a little bit gusting as well. But let's now move on to our 7-day outlook. Starting comfortable, 20% here on Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday and Monday are the change days when we were going to see quite a bit of rain. But as for the rest of the week, it clears out nicely for Thanksgiving. But now we're going to go ahead and send it over to Jonathan to look at the southeast.
Thank you, Matt. We're going to take a look across the southeast, and high pressure is in control across much of the Big Bend. Just a couple of showers starting to show signs of the things that are on their way from I-10 off towards the east. This is all going to travel off towards the east, but hopefully we'll be able to keep this at bay until after the game tomorrow evening. Right now, temperatures are starting to climb 65 degrees here in Tallahassee right now, but notice these reds. That's where the rain and the clouds have really been filtering in over the last day or so with this next storm system. But across most of the southeast, no freezing temperatures this morning, and that's going to continue over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to continue to increase. About 10 degrees warmer here across I-10, as well as down all the way almost to I-4 in the Tampa Bay area this afternoon. Temperatures are going to start to fall out towards the beginning and towards the middle of next week. Dew points are also going to be on the increase. Moisture is going to be on the increase. High pressure, remember that high pressure has a clockwise flow. That's going to bring in lots of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and you can already see some of the effects there. Dew points already climbing into the 50s and 60s across near Houston over towards San Antonio and points west. And this is going to be moving its way east as well, with lots of shower activity, and temperatures over the next few days looking like this. 50 degrees in Valdosta right at 8 o'clock tonight. Warmer temperatures still off towards the west. Now keep an eye on the western part of the area, because you'll see a cool front begin to develop out west. You can start to see it there, that division line just west of Oklahoma City up towards Lincoln, Nebraska. And this is going to become pretty well defined over the next day or so. Warm air coming in from the south, feeding some storms, a slight severe weather risk coming into the weekend forecast for much of us across I-10, 60s and 70s for temperatures with plenty of moisture to work with. That's going to feed in a lot of moisture from the south, and that's going to bring in a rain chance for Sunday and Monday, upwards of 3 inches of rainfall. And watch that cold front. Here it is coming through, just approaching the Houston area. 50s behind this cool front. Not going to be a huge drop, but we will be dropping. For tonight, though, we're looking at 46 degrees here in Tallahassee, 56 in New Orleans, a little bit warmer off towards Dallas in the 60s and 70s. For tomorrow, though, we're looking like this. We're looking in the 70s, 70 degrees for Tallahassee, 70 degrees right around the game time as well. Warmer temperatures continue over the next couple of days before that next storm system moves in. But Matt and Paxton, what else you've got for us?
Well, in the New England area, there's not a lot of sun like there is here. They actually have a lot of snow.
Yeah, snowfall has been the main story up there in parts of New York and parts south of Buffalo. They've seen 6 to 9 feet of snow with all that lake effect snow.
I'm so glad I don't live up there. I'm not a snow person. I'm not a rain person. I'm a sun person. So Florida is perfect for the most part for all of that. But unfortunately in that area, the death rate or the death toll has rose to 12 now. Yeah,
a lot of structure failure in parts of Buffalo up there because of the immense amount of snow. And due to that, we have seen 12 deaths so far because of the snow storm.
Yes, unfortunately so. But the snow will be letting up this weekend, but the freezing rain will be returning in that area.
Yeah, freezing rain's going to be back over there, and I'm going to tell you guys more about that now, taking a look across the country, because that's where quite a bit of a weather situation is unfolding, and we have quite a bit to talk about as well. I've got the latest advisories here from the National Weather Service across the country, which I'll be explaining in just a minute. So let's get started right here up in the northwest, because we have a lot going on up here. This is a major storm system, and I actually have the latest advisories here straight from the National Weather Service. We have a winter storm warning in portions of Colorado and Utah, freezing rain advisories over here in parts of Illinois, and pushing into Michigan with lots of freezing rain. And that's going to be due to this low pressure over here. And then we also have another low up in the northwestern area, and a lot of mountain snowfall as well in the mountains. So winter weather advisories across the board. And then in the orange here, this is a high wind advisory. And this high wind advisory, we have large, quite a bit of winds coming from the south over strong southerly winds, and that's due to orographic flow. And orographic flow is actually due to terrain. So you'll see a lot of high winds when you have a mountainous area going in the area. So that's orographic flow, and that's causing this wind advisory here in portions of California and into Oregon. But let's go ahead and move on to the current conditions across the country. Right now we're sitting a lot more mild than we have seen over the last, at least certainly past week as well. Temperatures have rebounded quite nicely. That's why we're starting to see some freezing rain in portions of the Midwest here, where a lot of the temperatures have risen above freezing levels. However, in the atmosphere, it's still sitting just below. But now let's move into that 24-hour temperature change, because as I spoke of before, you see this red here indicating that increase in temperature over the past 24 hours, and that's a lot of that polar air that was inundating our country over the last week is starting to recede a little bit, and that's allowing for a lot of moisture to get built up down here, and that's what's going to be causing quite a bit of an issue moving on into early next week. But as we move on to satellite and radar, here's what's going to be causing the headaches down in our area. We can start to see it coming together here. A lot of energy moving in, and all of that energy from the Gulf is also going to get scooped up as well and start pushing into our area. But now it's a snowy situation here in parts of the north. As Paxton and I mentioned before, Buffalo, you are just under tons of snow, and it's really a sad situation up there right now with the current death toll. But the snowfall is continuing to fall in portions of the northeast as well, and as we move on out, the snow is still inundating parts of the country once again. So the snowfall has been quite a bit of the story in the northeast, and then also now moving into the west, we see it once again. Seattle, as I like to mention, you're always raining, so head on out to Starbucks with your umbrella, because it's raining once again in Seattle. And then mountainous snowfall here in the mountains as well. But now zooming out to the rest of the country, we've got tonight's forecast. We see this dip in temperatures right here, not diving as far down as we saw before because of really just the warm moisture starting to get pulled up from the Gulf. But now we're going to go ahead and send it over to Jonathan to take a look at what's going on around our neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's warming up here as well. Here's the national forecast. We're talking 60s and 70s across the heartland. That's really going to be the story here in Tallahassee as well. The first morning without a freeze here in Tallahassee, and we warmed up into the 70s during the afternoon hours. This is a big change over the last couple of days. We're about 10 degrees warmer than we have been the last couple of days. Currently outside 65 degrees here in Tallahassee, with a dew point starting to climb with these winds switching out of the north towards the northeast, and that's going to continue to switch towards the east, and that's going to bring in more moisture and a little bit more oomph for the heat to rise as well. 65 degrees, as I said, here in Tallahassee, 50s and 60s around the area, 57 in Quincy, 59 in Carabel, 64 for our friends in Apalachicola right now. And looking around the region, we're looking pretty clear. High pressures in control. A couple of clouds passing through some of our eastern regions down towards Taylor County, extreme Taylor County, Cross City, seeing a couple of clouds down towards that region. But high pressure, as I said, is in control, bringing those winds out of the east now. That's going to allow us to rebound back into the warmer temperatures. And this is going to continue. The longer the arrow here, the stronger the wind, and the green color here is 50s and 60s. You'll see us drop a little bit during the evening hours, but not towards a freeze, and we'll be warming back up tomorrow afternoon, back up into the 70s, so around 70, 72 degrees for most of the area, maybe some upper 60s up towards Valdosta and Thomasville, but most of us getting in on the act in the low to mid 70s. Even into the game tomorrow evening, winds are going to be switching out of the east as we head into Sunday with a little bit lighter winds as we head into Sunday. But really, the big story is going to be this bump in the heat, and then the rain begins to work in on Sunday morning as well. A slight severe weather risk as we head into Sunday morning. Out in the waters, the winds are going to start to whip up the waters as well. 15 knots out of the northeast, switching to the southeast, waves 2 to 3 feet, occasionally upwards of 4 feet. There's a small craft advisory in effect for tomorrow. If you're going out in a small vessel, you're going to want to use some caution out there. If you have a fishing plan that you want to get in, head towards next week because it's going to get a little better towards next week. It's going to be rainy this weekend, not the best boating weekend here across the Big Bend if you're heading anywhere across the Gulf of Mexico. 46 degrees is the forecast here in Tallahassee. East winds with mostly clear skies, maybe a couple of clouds, but most of those will be well off towards the southeast. And east winds are going to begin to bump up those temperatures as we head into tomorrow. Maybe a 20% chance of rain, mostly between 8 and midnight tomorrow evening with northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. No problem there for Aguayo. Temperatures in the 60s to low 70s tomorrow. And then heading through the next 7 days, we're looking like this. Most of the rain happening after the game, and then thunderstorms happening most of the day on Sunday with a small chance of some severe weather on Sunday. And then warming back up on Monday, but we'll work in another couple of showers. But Thanksgiving is looking fantastic.
It is indeed. And now we're going to turn our attention to the past for this day in weather history.
Yeah, back in 1798, there was a 4-day storm in the northeastern United States.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that even 216 years ago, snowfall was battering that region. Maybe not quite to the extent that we've been seeing recently. 3 feet were reported in Maine and New Hampshire, 1 foot in New York City and New Haven.
Yeah, fast forwarding to 1985, I think this is a lot of people here will remember these storms. Hurricane Kate,
Yes.
big name here.
Yes, indeed. It made landfall in the evening of November 21st, 1985, near Mexico Beach, Florida.
Yeah, which is just west of our area, but most of our area sustained some tropical storm force winds with that storm. And it was a pretty big name here across much of the Big Bend.
Indeed, it was the latest hurricane in U.S. history to hit so far north, late meaning this late in the hurricane season.
Yeah, good reminder. It is still hurricane season, but no hurricanes anywhere in the Gulf. Paxton, you've got to look at the Florida forecast.
I do. There's no hurricanes in the Gulf, none in the eastern part of our coast either, which is great for us. But in the past 24 hours, temperatures around Florida have been on the increase for the most part, specifically in Tampa, Orlando, and Tallahassee, where those temperatures have increased by at least 8 degrees. So we are definitely feeling the effects of a warm-up and less of that cold front which passed through earlier this week. Currently, it is 65 in Tallahassee. Those temperatures will be beginning to drop as of right now, so it will be a little cooler tonight. But it's nothing as severe as it was these past couple of nights when it was in those 30s and even in the 20s a couple of days earlier as well. And our dew points are nice and comfortable. 37 in Tallahassee. That's very nice for us. It keeps our humidity at a little bit of a lower level. Great for all us ladies out there as well, so you don't have to have frizzy hair or poofy hair. And if you look at the winds, in our area, they are clockwise, which is due to this little high pressure system sitting just to the north of us, inducing the clockwise flow. And then in the southern areas, we also have clockwise winds as well due to a second high pressure system in southern Florida. Water vapor showing a little pocket of the moist air behind me, and also this pocket of dry air which is coming into our area as well. And this is all essentially left over from that front that passed a couple of days ago. But we are not having any more significant weather up until around Sunday when those rain chances increase as well, and bringing in the potential for severe weather. And then you can see down in southern Florida, remnants from the front, and then also off to the corner of your screen, you can see more storms associated with the oncoming low pressure system coming into our area. And then if we look at the radar, you can notice it's nice and clear. There is no clouds, there is no rain, there is nothing. We haven't seen that in a little bit these past couple of days. It hasn't been that bad. But this will definitely change tomorrow night going into Sunday. And we have some little bit of leftovers in central Florida and then again in southern Florida as well. And if you look in the little keys, you can see a little bit of storms associated in that area as well. And then for tonight in Tallahassee, it is 46 degrees. So we are near 50 again. So it's still a little cool. You do need to bring your jackets, but you don't need your scarves or your boots or anything like that like we needed last night. And we also don't have that hard freeze warning as well. And then we have some 70s going on in southern Florida, so they are remaining quite mild. And then we look into tomorrow. There is no sun around Florida. It's all clouds. We have a little bit of rain going on, and we are at 70. So again, we are seeing those 70-degree temperatures. We're on average, but again, not too sunny, but the rain should not be picking up until tomorrow night. So the game day forecast is looking pretty dry. But right now, we're going to hand this on over to John with more information about the winter weather.
It's been a big week across the eastern half of the country for winter weather. We got in on the mix with some very cold temperatures. We spent 22 hours over the last couple of days below 32 degrees, and that allowed some icicles to form on the torch on Wednesday morning with cooler temperatures. Temperatures plummeted down to 22 degrees. And I want to take a quick look at some of those low temperatures over the last couple of days. 22 degrees was the record low temperature here in Tallahassee on Wednesday. Apalachicola also saw a record low temperature of 31 degrees, and that wasn't the only record they saw. As we moved into Thursday morning, we saw temperatures in the 30s as well. 30s this morning, 33 degrees. That was the first freeze that we haven't had over the last couple of days. 32 degrees still freezing in Quincy early this morning. 34 degrees in Thomasville this morning. So it's going to take a while to get some of those warmer winds in here to change things up. But it's going to be nice. But I have to take things up north now. Grand Rapids, Michigan. This is a couple hours west of Detroit here in the lower half of Michigan. Broke a all-time snow record for the month of November. As of 7 p.m. yesterday, when it began to wind down across Michigan, they toppled the old record, which was set in 1895. A more than 100-year record was broken by 0.2 inches across lower Michigan, and a lot of these places have had 20 to 30 inches of snow over the last couple days, but really that's nothing compared to much of the country. Buffalo area saw much more than that, but we're talking about 30 to 40% of the United States right now seeing a little bit of snow on the ground. In some places it's been a little bit more than a little. Here in Buffalo, just south of Buffalo, this is a town called Crowellsville, New York. A lot of places southeast of Buffalo saw upwards of 6 to 7 feet of snow. 88 inches, a little over 7 feet of snow since Monday, and the news is going to get a lot worse, unfortunately, for us here. The snow is toppling on tops of those now buried houses, buildings, and all sorts of streets and that sort of thing. Starting to move that sort of thing out. The snow is being recovered, houses are being unburied, as well as some of the cars out there. But the snow is starting to wind down here now. Just some light snow down south of Buffalo now. The winds are now out of the northwest. That's pushing a lot of that snow down towards the south, but that's kind of a bad thing because we're starting to see some moisture working in towards the Great Lakes and over towards the northern plains. And what's this up north of Winnipeg? That's some rain. That's not a good thing because that's going to head off towards the east, and this is going to work through the Great Lakes, and that's going to combine for some freezing rain over the next day or so, and that's going to top on some rain as well as the temperatures warm up over the next couple of days. That's going to melt the snow on its way down. But the forecast for tomorrow is looking like this: 40s in Detroit. That's warm enough for a little bit of rainfall to mix in there in Detroit tomorrow afternoon. But the weather's looking good. And what else is looking good, Shane?
Well, our show is actually looking pretty good. That was a very clear forecast. I'm not just talking about how you explained it, but how it looked on TV as well.
Yeah, this is the second day actually that we are broadcasting in full HD. We went yesterday, we had some technical difficulties, but this is something that's been in the mix now for about 1.5 to 2 years here. We've made some small changes. We were originally in 4x3, and slowly we've worked our way up to HD.
Yeah, we were pulling ourselves out of the dark ages of technology from analog just in time for the new year for 2015. We're getting ready for our first full year of high definition at FSU Weather.
So continue to watch us here. The weather's getting better, at least for the next day or so, and the picture's getting a lot better here at FSU Weather.
It is indeed. I'm going to take a look around campus right now. We've got 65 degrees outside at Doak Campbell Stadium right now. It is partly cloudy, and the sun has gone down, and it is getting dark outside, so that temperature is going to quickly decrease. Looking at our neighbors around the Big Bend right now, we're all under clear skies right now. And the reason I show this isn't so that you can see how few clouds there are. It's really just to point out that with these clear skies across the whole region, the temperature's going to drop quickly. There's no clouds to trap the heat down here, and very little wind as well to mix up the temperatures a little bit, to mix in some warmth with the cold. No, it's going to get cold fast and stay that way. 65 degrees right now in Tallahassee again, 70 on the coast in St. Mark's, 72 in Wilma. Now they're flirting with the 50s up here, 61 Bainbridge, dropping down to 55 there in Quincy. So as you can see, the temperatures are really starting to fall down. Let's take one more look at that weather maker that's going to make its way to the east and start bringing that moisture tomorrow. I'm going to outline this very clearly in just a moment, but here's the broad picture. Clouds will continue to build in tomorrow from maybe a few hints of sunshine in the morning, going to get mostly cloudy by game day, and then that warm front's going to make its way up onto our doorstep. We blew over that very quickly. Basically, it's going to start raining once the game ends, and then it's going to continue to get more and more intense with a chance of thunderstorms on Sunday morning. We're currently monitoring that to indicate whether or not it's going to be a chance of some severe weather. At the moment, doesn't look like it's too threatening, but do keep it tuned to FSU Weather on livestream.com. We will keep you posted if and when any warnings are issued for our area. But enough of that. Let's break down the game day that we've all been waiting for. I'm looking at 67 degrees at noon tomorrow when the tailgates really kick into full force, with a little sun left over there from the morning, clouding up by game time at 3 p.m. and warming to 69. 69, 70 is going to be our maximum tomorrow, and then dropping quickly to only 63 degrees after the game as the rain begins to move into our area. And here's the moment we've all been waiting for, the game day forecast. There we go, the game has begun, and it's 69 degrees in Doak Campbell Stadium. I'm expecting it to drop to 63 degrees once the sun goes down, and the chances aren't great that there's going to be rain while we're all in the stadium there, but do bring a poncho just in case. Remember, umbrellas aren't permitted within Doak Campbell Stadium, so we can't rely on those for shielding from the rain. And now the week ahead. Thanksgiving week is finally upon us. We've just got class on Monday and Tuesday, and then we're finally off for 5 whole days as we get ready for the long-anticipated Florida rivalry game. But before we get there, we've got to get through Sunday, where we've got a 90% chance of rain, looking at thunderstorms, the temperatures getting up into the mid to upper 70s, and then cooling off again once all that rain gets out of our hair. We're going to get sunny skies in Tallahassee for Thanksgiving, with highs back down into the low to upper 60s. In fact, maybe touching Friday 70 again next Friday as we get ready to play UF.
Yeah, I think there's really two big questions this weekend in everyone's mind. First, can we win, and can we really kind of annoy the rest of the nation? But then, of course, are we going to get this game in before it starts to rain?
Yeah, exactly. We may not have your answers for the sports half of that. We do hope for another Seminole victory. But on the matter of the rainfall, we do have a few more details.
Yeah, we think it's going to get, I think we're going to get all the way through the game with mostly cloudy skies, and then right after the game, so if you're heading home, I think we'll pick up a couple of sprinkles on the way home.
Yeah, bring your umbrellas with you once you leave the stadium as you head out to eat, because this is an afternoon game. We'll actually get the chance to do that this time.
Yep, and you won't need that jacket tonight until maybe towards the end of the game if you are not a cool weather liker. But it's going to get a little bit cooler. But we want to remind you that, or let you know that we will be airing on 78.1 starting on Monday here on campus. But you can watch us anytime on livestream.com.
Yep, as always, we are there on the internet, and we want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We've had a difficult week here at FSU, but we've always kept through. As long as the weather is in session outside, we'll have a show for you guys.
Have a good night.